This is where the fun begins.
Hello, everyone, and good morning from California. How are you guys doing? And what are you enjoying in your coffee mug this morning? Or what is your preferred drink? Stig will be joining us here shortly, so I'm going to go through the chat right now, and we're just going to chat and talk before we get started with the comic here. So I have Real Kim Shady, who has been waiting here for a little while. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and waiting, and good morning to you. We out here early. Yes, you are. And of course, Lady Toriel. Hello, OG Stig and chat. And again, he'll be joining us here soon. So he had to take care of something. And but he's okay. So no worries on that end, as far as I know. Having a latte to stay awake for chat. Thank you so much for staying awake and drinking your latte and being here with us. Hi, Stig. How you doing? Good morning.
Hi, I'm doing quite well.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing well too. I woke up. Well, I kind of woke up a little late. We got out the door to send my daughter to school kind of late, and but other than that, I mean, if there was no, like how people get stressed because they're running late. I don't feel stressed. I feel pretty good this morning. I'm excited to get through these comics because it's getting fun and interesting. So,
yeah, and apparently there's one more Clone Wars volume happening.
Yes,
and it's going to be out in December.
Yes, exactly. I should have pulled that up, but with that the cover, because I know you shared the cover.
Yeah, it has Kenobi and Grievous on it. Basically, Kenobi posing in a battle stance, and then you have like Grievous's head in the distance, right?
Yeah, classic. With the hero and the villain head kind of deal we see a lot in Star Wars.
Yeah,
yeah, and so we're looking at with that comic. We're looking at finishing up Quinlan's arc in a sense too.
Yes, it's okay. Final comics, and I also found out why there hasn't been an Attack of the Clones, comic in the omnibuses. Uh-huh. It's because the Menace Revealed omnibuses, as they're called, which takes place between episode 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
They're not done. Even though there's a long time since the last one came out, there's apparently a volume 3 and 4 on the way, and volume 3 is on the is coming out in January.
Okay.
So everything's falling into place.
Yes. Oh, that's so fun. I'm so glad that you're keeping track of that. Thank you so much, Stig, because, who like me, like I said, I love the novels and stuff, and I've never really delved into the comics as a child. I did play some games, but it wasn't necessarily Star Wars. And then, of course, my story, I kind of, push that to the wayside and stuff. So now I'm like rediscovering the lore with the comics, and it all makes sense together. So when you read the novel, maybe there's like some little tiny itty bitty contradictions, but it's not a big deal because it doesn't really hurt the story. But
well, if you have a franchise that has 1,000 comics and almost, I guess 200 novels,
yeah,
there's going to be contradictions somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and the reason why I know there's only one Clone Wars comic left is because we're very close to Revenge of the Sith, and the last part of the next omnibus is the Revenge of the Sith comics.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, and so we're gonna jump ahead though, so we're not gonna go through those ones, right? That was our plan. To jump ahead to
otherwise we have to wait until December or January.
Yeah.
So but we can do the first volume of Rebellion, and maybe even the second before we get there, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe pause a bit and do the Clone Wars comics
Yeah, once it come up. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that sounds like a great idea. Just recapping on everything, just keeping everything, organized and planned out a bit. And Real Kim Shady got my coffee and cereal Lego. Cereal Lego. So is that like a Lego themed cereal? Is that what because I know you're not munching on Lego. That would
I don't
kind of be
know.
bad for your
It's
teeth.
I guess it's a meal you can build on.
Yeah, right. There you go. Okay, Christopher Barker. Morning, Alora, Stig, Lady Toriel. Me having coffee and some music to start this fine day. Awesome. It's always good. There's times I shut off everything, but just put on some music. And sometimes even while I'm reading, just to have that background noise, sometimes I'll have a little bit of music, whatever. But I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to enjoy a show or whatever, or a movie or whatever, then I will, put it on. But then other than that, if I'm not going to watch TV or anything like that, then it's usually music or sometimes even silence. I like silence sometimes.
What kind of music does Christopher Barker listen to, I'm wondering?
Yes, Christopher, share with us. What is your preference of music genre? Yes.
Yeah.
And then
I actually listen to music. Well, I've been doing that lately too. Just I mostly do 80s rock though, or heavy metal and stuff like that, because it's natural.
Yeah. Me, I like all different genres, I guess you could say. Depending on my mood, like there'll be times where I'm like 80s rock, or sometimes I go back into like classic rock or even the Beatles.
Oh yeah. Classic stuff is excellent.
Yes. And then there's time that I like old school rap, hip hop when it first came out. Not today's, but like what I grew up with. I'm kind of sharing my age kind of in a way. But so classical stuff, not classical, it's not classical, but old school hip hop or R&B, I sometimes will put on, depending on my my mood, and depending on if I feel like getting up and dancing as well, or I'm like cleaning house and I am dancing while I'm cleaning. That's just me. So I just like to move sometimes. Sometimes I'll even put on Frank Sinatra.
Oh, I just sit there stoic and grim-faced and listen.
And grim-faced, and that's all you do, huh? You just scowl a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying the music though.
Yeah. And then we have, I asked everybody while we were waiting, because I started just a couple minutes late, just to kind of give you a chance to get in and stuff without having a huge gap of time. And so I put in there, who is your favorite PT era character? So that's what everybody's answering right now. So we have Real Kim Shady, gotta go with Mace Windu. Then we have Ayla Sakura. And then Miss Martin Muse is here. Hello, darling. How are you doing this fine morning? Or probably
so you asked her what her favorite PT character is, and she shows you a rose.
No, she's saying hello.
That's not a reply, Teresa.
She came in. She probably didn't see the question, darling.
She didn't ask you your favorite flower, Teresa.
And this is what she's enjoying: toasted marshmallow mocha flavored coffee.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Toasted marshmallow.
No, that sounds like sugary goo.
Sugary goo?
That's what Jabba eats.
Safeway? No, he eats humans. I've seen that. That was an awesome post you did on Twitter. Safeway's been carrying year-round peppermint mocha cream, which I got in my coffee today. Laugh out loud. Yes,
and we have another fucked up one.
We're just gonna make Stig go crazy with this. Christopher Barker, will Laura and Stig be around for the Raging Rhino stream later today? I probably will watch it, but probably won't be on it. So I don't know about Stig though.
No, I haven't been asked to be on.
Yeah, I'll probably mod in there. I'll probably mod because I'm one of his mods. So yeah, if I have the time, I don't think my schedule has anything going during that time. So I'll be in there moderating. And so if you go in and listen, yes, they have some crazy topics they're going to talk about, and I would go in and support tonight. So, or this evening, depending on where you're at. All right. Attack of the Clones in the Epic Collection will happen, Stig. Trust the Force. Yeah. trust the Force. And hey there, Chief Eddie. Hello there. Long live the EU. Yes, that's where the heart of Star Wars is and will always remain. And that's where I remain, is with the classical Star Wars. What contradiction Stiggs? EU isn't canon anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that jumped. And then Keck44, howdy, how you doing? And oh, she has a laughing emoji. It doesn't just see on mine. I can't see it on my end through StreamYard. So that's what I hate about StreamYards, is that you can't see the emojis. Some of the emojis that you share, I mean, some you can, but when you have like emojis you put up for your members of your channel, you can't really see them on StreamYard. I have a few. I think I have Jaina and Jason, or Darth Cadus and Jaina, Scrat or whatever his name is, and then I have the Gonk droid and then R2D2. I have one more I can add on, so I was thinking about doing Kenobi. I just haven't did it yet. Not Lego bricks. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get through these comics here. So this is what I used for the cover. Let me take this off. Let me see here. They're talking about music now. All right.
Looks like they're, about to play baseball.
Yeah, they're like batter them up, batter up. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So they're in their fighting stances, and so when we get in this here, it's a continuation, of course, from the last two we reviewed as well. And let me go ahead and get to my proper screen so I can scroll or turn the pages here. And they are now in the Marimar Karthak system there, and they're still on the ship battling Durge. So this is where we left off at.
No, well, yeah, and droids are dying.
Yeah, droids are dying. Yeah, they're slaying droids and everything. So let's go ahead and so we just see this is self-explanatory. We're continuing from the last one. They're still, confronting Durge, and so we have Anakin here because Obi-Wan had left Anakin to deal with Durge while he took care of, did other things on the ship and checking, the ship and stuff. So he left Durge, or Anakin with Durge, to take care of him. So basically he says, I swear this is going to be the last time we face each other. And he's like, you stole my line. Kind of cheesy a little bit, but they're confronting each other and fighting. And he basically, again, still gets the best of Anakin here. He still throws him around and all that. So, and I know, Stig, you really didn't care for Durge, right?
No, I thought it was OP.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, it's all the regenerating stuff, and it's it's actually a trope that's been done way before Star Wars several times. But it's you can make a threat to the Jedi without making the character OP. I mean, Jango Fett was a threat, and he was just highly trained, and he had equipment.
Yeah, he was a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mandalorians, basically, they have their beef with Jedi, and so they are trained against them in a sense.
Yeah, so I get why people like Durge, by all means. I just don't.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, he's okay. I think it's a little bit cringy about the regeneration as well, and that's a species. But how many times?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a species like that, right? The Empire should use that species constantly.
Yeah, they should be part of the army, right? Or at least on the Separatist side, and they should recruit them for that.
Yeah, and clone them and do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Chimonians are basically they're brilliant on genetic manipulation and stuff, and that's what I loved about hearing about the Chimonians and making these clone troopers, is how skilled they were in the biology, genetic manipulation, and I thought it was very interesting how they were able to change the genetics for the clones to be very, I wouldn't say submissive, but following orders and all that, and then the chip happened, which kind of negated all of that and the brilliance of the Chimonians, really.
Yeah, the chip kind of the chip by itself isn't bad, you know.
Yeah.
It's an okay way to get troops to, you know, do that, but it was kind of foreshadowed in Attack of the Clones that they actually follow orders because Django says it, you know, they'll get the job done, you know, that they'll follow orders and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's more frightening if you have blindly loyal troops that will even turn on their friends in an instant if ordered to, rather than have a chip that just, you know, you press a button and then they, you know,
they turn robotic.
Yeah, I know. So it's I can accept both explanations though if we only got one of them, you know. But I would pick the one where they actually follow orders any day of the week, because it would be something they got from Django, right? Because Django follow orders. And so does, you know, Boba Fett. He'll never stop until he gets his target, right?
Yeah.
So I felt it tied into that a bit, you know, the clones having Django and Boba's insane determination.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so me, I still think the chip was still a bit cringy because it took away a lot of the brilliance of the Kamonians, you know, cloning and stuff and how they can handle and manipulate genetics.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's okay to like the chip too. But
exactly.
The chip,
they don't like it.
Yeah, but the chip was not what Lucas intended.
Yeah. And it's funny, we have to say it's okay for you to enjoy it because right now people go batshit crazy saying, "Oh, you're just gatekeeping."
Yes, you're gatekeeping a gate that's not there. I mean, let's say we did gatekeep, right? Me and you team up and we tell Lady Toriel that, you know, you're not allowed to like the Plagueis book. If you like that one, you're dumb. Toriel is going to still read the Plagueis book and enjoy it, regardless of what we say.
Exactly.
So there's no gate. You know, it isn't.
It's such an odd term. It is. And people get so friggin' upset about, you know, people, you know, you're pointing out stuff or talking about stuff or thinking they're being bossed around. If you give someone that power over the internet, then you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I was very, very blunt. I normally don't do that, but still, that's how I feel right now with the recent events. But let's go ahead and get back into the comic right now because I don't want to spend too much time chatting about that. We are here to enjoy the heart of Star Wars. So here we go. Yeah. So again, we're back with Durge, and of course you could see, you know, he friggin' smacks Anakin across the face, and you know, you see blood flying and all this. So Anakin's getting his ass whooped.
Yes,
right
he's being
he's being owned.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Yes, and he's basically told Anakin he has killed a lot of Jedi, which is true.
Yeah, Anakin's even seen it when they fought on that moon.
Yeah,
when he and Ventress was introduced. And then you have Kenobi chopping down the Roger droid.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's over there clearing out, you know, and investigating, clearing out, you know, and you know, confronting or having battle with the Roger droids, basically, which they're nothing really, in a sense. You know, I don't know. To me, they've always been part of it, like not really threatening.
Yeah.
You know,
it would be fun if there was like a story set in the New Republic era and someone had an old battle droid like that and it was named Roger.
Roger, that would be funny. And then they talk about it a little bit inside the movies or something. Oh God. Yeah. And so, and here we go. Anakin's still getting his butt whooped, you know, and I wish we had Teresa here to do the sound effects because there's a lot of sound effects in this one here. And, you know, so we have all the fun sound effects here and,
she wouldn't be able to.
Huh?
She wouldn't be able to. Her mouth is full of that blob she calls coffee.
Oh my God. All right. So, and he basically, Dirge basically, kind of has his banter with him. He's being snide. I didn't break you, did I? That comes later. So he's like very confident in himself. And, he's, owning Anakin. Like I said, right here, he's owning Anakin. Look at Anakin's face right here. Look at how he looks. He's like, he's not necessarily defeated, but, he is feeling it.
Yeah,
So,
and if you look at the picture of Dirge right there,
mhm.
he looks more like a Marvel villain than a Star Wars villain. That's
Very
that's
interesting.
a yeah, that's a I never felt he fit. This is completely subjective, it's just my opinion, but I always felt he was off.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fine. We're not gonna like every single like antagonist or villain or whatever, or even hero.
Yeah,
We're gonna have our own.
I might like the EU, but that doesn't mean I like everything in it.
Mhm. Yeah. Exactly. And that's how, and we had a great discussion last night on Open Airlock Policies channel about that, because we all discovered, he was like, we're going to do a controversial topic. We always criticize, the Disney canon. So let's go ahead and talk about the EU and discuss things like that. And of course, we're all going to, have our own criticism for certain stories and certain characters. It's just a given, because you're not, it's okay to not like everything.
Yeah, and we even had an even split. There were 6 panelists, and
Mhm.
3 of them liked the Courtship of Princess Leia novel, and the 3 others didn't.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I look forward to the next one.
Nobody felt gate kept.
No, we even teased each other about that too. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we were nerding out big time on that, and that's what it's all about. And if you don't know a character, and someone questions you and you don't know a character, instead of getting pissy about it, just say, "Okay, tell me more. I want to know."
Yeah.
That's all that's about, and then you can, then pick up the book, or maybe if you're a gamer and you haven't played that game, maybe you can go get it, because of course, KOTOR and all that you can play on your PC or whatever. It's still playable, unlike when some people say on Twitter, which I find funny. All right.
Yeah, I actually found that weird that it's perfectly understandable that someone didn't play the video game,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it's from 2003, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So something
Yeah.
like that. And not everyone's into gaming. And if
Yeah.
someone's into gaming, most likely they have a new console. And they wouldn't be playing KOTOR on it, because KOTOR doesn't work on PlayStations. It does work on the Xbox One because of backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's not a game people would look for, right? So the people growing up today, odds are they haven't played KOTOR.
Yeah.
But if you've been a Star Wars fan for let's say 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird you haven't even heard of Revan, because
Yeah.
it's like a big name.
Mm-hmm.
I get it if someone hasn't heard of Jysel that we see in the Clone Wars comics, or who else? Saba Sabatine, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I get why people wouldn't hear about them, but Revan and Darth Bane, kind of they're big. You'd hear about them just by talking to Star Wars fans, or reading Star Wars articles, or whatever it is. I mean, they just recently did a Revan action figure, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and you can was it the Black Series, right? For Revan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's 2 of
I
them.
need to get that
One light side and one dark side.
Yes.
I want to get the dark side one though, because that's the one that looks like the iconic Revan, I think.
Yeah. with
Yeah.
his mask and everything. Yes. Yeah, so that, I mean, yeah, so basically, you know, like if you're coming into Star Wars brand new, but you want to explore it and stuff, there's people to talk with about even past Star Wars, because there's so much places, so many eras that you can begin in and explore and stuff. And you just got to reach out and find people to help you get started. And that's all it's got to be about, instead of being pissy and be like, oh, well, you're insulting me because I'm a brand new Star Wars fan, blah, 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 blah. No, just say, okay, so who is Revan? So that's my opinion, and I digress from that. So let's get back to the comic here. So we have Anakin looking at all the, what are those little bombs, right? And all the little,
explosives.
there we go. Yeah. And he's like, you're more explosives. You are insane. And he goes, you have no idea. So basically he knows he can't be destroyed really, you know, because he regenerates. So
Yeah.
there's no loss to him. He knows that he can't die, really.
Yeah. And then Anakin sends them towards him like frisbees.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And dun dun dun, he blows up, or they explode on him.
You can see his finger getting blown to bits too.
Yeah, I know. And then like I don't know.
It should do more damage to him though, because these bombs are designed to destroy the hull of a ship and whatever.
Yes, exactly. But you know, but here we go. Again, I like the artwork in here on the explosives and stuff. It's really very bright and eye-catching there. And then so we have Kenobi here still facing the droids, and he's in a different hangar now on the ship, as we can see here with this starfighter here.
Yeah, he's moving the ship, I think, with the Force.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Is he moving the ship with it or what? Because oh yeah, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he's into shipping.
Yeah, he's shipping. He's a shipper.
Shipping the battle droids.
Yes. And then does he basically smash him with it, huh?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what I thought. And he ends up cutting a hole through it, it looks like, with his lightsaber.
Yeah. And then he runs into like a little mini Durge looking
droid.
Yeah, something. It looks like Durge got anorexia.
I know. Now you see the skeleton,
Yeah.
even though he's not skeletal whatsoever.
Yeah. And Durge is apparently his master. So, well,
yeah,
it's
he
probably
kind of looks like
though.
Iron Man right here, because he has that little light circle on the chest and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's an anorectic Tony Stark.
Yes, it is. And so he encounters him right there. And then, of course, he's angry because he just got all those explosives thrown and ignited on him. So
yeah, and even this face, it looks.
His helmet's off. So
yeah, and you know in the Friday the 13th movie when Jason goes to Manhattan. You know, he looks like Jason in that one, almost. It's yeah. I don't like him.
I could tell very much. You're like, no. Yeah, he also looks like he's like from like a off species from Alien or something.
Yeah, something. He doesn't look Star Wars to me.
Yeah. He's very different. So here we go. So basically he's only can, make like somewhat screaming sounds. He can't really, I guess his vocals have been burnt a little bit, and it takes him a while to regenerate. And that's what Anakin notices as well.
Yeah.
He's like, too bad it didn't silence you, blah, blah, blah. And he's just making sounds at him as they continue to fight. Whoops, wrong one. And let's see here. And he goes, I could feel your how weak you are. Your body must be working overtime to heal all that damage. And so now Anakin knows he has the advantage. And look at him. He's right next to the escape pod. And so he pushes him up against the wall there.
Yeah, and he opens the hatch and shoves him in.
Yes. Yes, and so he's, you could tell he's concentrating the force and stuff, and this is where it gets fun a little bit, and you could tell the ship is suffering with a lot of damage, and that they need to leave. And I'm surprised that from how it looks on the outside, I'm surprised it looks calm on the inside, really.
Yeah, and Anakin proves that he doesn't need a hatchment, so he puts him in the escape pod.
Very good. Yeah, so he puts him in the escape pod and he sends him into the star.
Yeah, he should have said something though.
I know this was a missed opportunity. I was thinking the same thing. There should have been some kind of like classic foreshadowing, sarcastic verbiage.
Yeah,
how that Vader usually does. Anakin usually does. He should have said something.
Yeah, work on your tan for a while.
Something like that. Something. All right, so let's move on. And so we have he's realizing, oh shit, I'm being baked. So basically, we have baked nerves going on here.
Yeah, he's burning up, melting, kind of even though he's a monster and stuff, he's a bit cruel though. He basically puts him in a little metal box and roasts him.
Right? He's
being inside it's like being inside a crematorium, which I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but
right,
he kind of deserves it too, though. So
that was the only way to get rid of him, really. Yeah. Unless, there's only two ways: something like this, where he can't escape and then he can't regenerate, basically getting incinerated, and and then also killing, like penetrating through his brain, because his brain can't regenerate. I looked up the species; their brain don't regenerate, which I find very odd.
Yeah, well, it's an organ.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I looked it up because I'm like, there has to be a way, because I knew that Anakin killed him and how he killed him. But I was like, there has to be another way for them to kill the species, because they're not immortal, really.
I guess well, they could use flamethrowers, I suppose, or acid.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the ending to a Terminator movie, right? Because that's the sort of stuff they do to finally defeat the Terminator.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So we have some kind of like like inspiration from 80s, 90s, early 90s type movies and stuff with this comic on how super villains, I guess you can say.
And also, if you watch the movie called Cobra with Stallone.
Yeah.
He puts the villain on a hook at a foundry and sends him wiggling on the hook into the forge.
Yeah.
Which is rather grim.
Yes, it is. And Lady Rutoriel, she goes, a face only a mother could love. Roasted, tastes like chicken.
That's Wedge.
Yeah, and so Anakin, he does feel him die. He does feel him, and he he feels the death and stuff. So we have a little bit of yeah,
and it's probably tiredness as well. He has taken a beating, and
exactly,
as we've seen before in the comics, the Clone Wars and the effects of war is wearing on Anakin and Kenobi as well, and other Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. And then here we go. So they he basically says, I hope you burn, basically, and he's running away from the explosions and stuff, and they meet up. And he's like, Anakin or Obi-Wan's like, where's Durge? Because he wants to question Durge about Ventress. Again, he's still looking for Ventress. And, and Anakin's like, you're still stuck on her, but basically he's like, he's dead. And he goes, you killed him? And he was like, well, basically left me to deal with him. I had to do something or I'm going to die, kind of situation. And, Obi-Wan really didn't like the fact that he did that. But Anakin's like, they're like, we need to leave. Anakin's, we need to leave. Let's talk about this later, because the ship is basically deconstructing right now. They have explosions. It's burning. They need to get out of there because they're still above a Miramar.
Yeah. It's similarities to what happens at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, really.
Yeah.
In this case, they're not flying half a ship.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. And so again, they hustled to their starfighters there and to get off so they don't go down with the ship. And let's see here. Oh, and they encounter vulture droids on the way out too.
Yeah, this is the introduction to vulture. No, we've seen them before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so basically they're like Dooku's not our Kenobi's like Dooku's isn't taking any chances. They sent out vulture droids and stuff, and so now they have to battle them. And then in their battle with the vulture droids, lo and behold, we have someone jumping in from hyperspace right now. So, and do you remember who it is, or do you want to just flip the page and we'll?
I seem to remember it was Bail Organa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here we go. And so they're like, at first they thought they were gonna get, have more trouble, and then they realized the cavalry general and then Alpha, you've been reassigned, and then he's like something like that. So Alpha, if he has a history with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's basically they're the ones that named him, right?
Yeah,
they're the ones who started.
He's been with them for quite a few comics now, and
yes.
He had a little solo thing with, well, it's not a solo thing, it was two of them, but him and Kenobi were captured by Ventress, and they basically broke out of jail together and stole her lightsabers, which pissed her off.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, Kenobi, damn it, you must die. I want my sabers back. So we have it. So there's a little bit of that story here. It's kind of like a full circle thing, because now he's back in a sense with Obi-Wan, and he's searching for Ventress, which these stories will give. If you don't know Ventress's story, I'm not going to tell you it. You need to stay and listen. It's very interesting, very, very interesting. So it's good. And here we go. So they and shortly they get on to the intervention is basically the name of the ship, and they're basically not a second too soon, Senator Organa, and but basically they're like, why are you here? And he's like, basically, I received a distress call from the Jedi generals. And he's all, we didn't send a distress call. And he goes, basically, that's just what we're going to report.
Yeah. And he knew about their mission anyway. So he basically probably disregarded orders or something and went there to help out.
Exactly.
So he's making an excuse to be there. And I always felt Bail Organa was a character they could have fleshed out even more. And I completely enjoyed Jimmy Smith's portrayal of him.
Yes.
Jimmy Smith is a very underrated actor, in my opinion.
He is.
I've never seen him do a bad job.
Yes, I agree. I enjoyed him as Belle, and yes, you were correct on that. And I was thinking about, like, when I first read Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader, and we do have Bail Organa in there, and he's like, what if he senses that Leia's his daughter, and blah blah blah, because Vader goes to Alderaan. Not trying to give up too many spoilers, but just maybe this will hype people to go read it if they haven't. And I always thought that they should have gave us more stories about Bail. Because he was always a friend to the Jedi. And I know even I think it was in Dark Lord, maybe he was saying, if I could be a Jedi, if I had the force sensitivity to be a Jedi, I would have been a Jedi. So he was kind of like a Jedi at heart.
He would have probably been a good one too, because he almost behaves like a Jedi.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose his cool at all. His he's even level-headed when he watches the youngling get shot down in Revenge of the Sith.
Yep. Exactly. And so a great character here. I wish we could have got more, but it is what it is, and I enjoy him anyways. Whenever I see him, I have always enjoyed him in the story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing my voice now. All right, so they continue to chat, and basically, let's see here. And then let me see. Let me go back here. Make sure I got the conversation right here. Yeah. So basically, said they got the distress call and all that. Okay. And then we have Anakin over here at the helm right here, and Obi-Wan thanks him for coming in, and so basically talk about what is our next our next move, and he says R. Notice that he says R.
Yeah. And,
So-
he also says, let's plan our next move together, which is almost like a little stab at Kenobi, right? Because Kenobi keeps scolding him when Anakin does stuff solo.
Yeah. Exactly. And so basically, you're still on the intent looking for Ventress, and he's like, so he even knows about that too. It's like, what doesn't Bell not know, in the sense, and they talk about the Republic spies have confirmed she's dead, and then Anakin's like, has like, like what, and kind of question thought, or whatever, and then Anakin or Obi-Wan still can insist that they are wrong. He knows that she's alive. So Obi-Wan still, he's like, I know she's alive. And again, like you said last Thursday, that was like when Anakin sensed that Obi-Wan was still alive, even though everybody thought he was dead. And so I'm surprised that Anakin didn't catch up on that.
Well, he is believing him now.
Yeah.
It says your instincts were correct, and the droid was carrying an encrypted travel log.
Mm-hmm.
And Durge dropped it off. Dropped off another agent just a week ago.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So we finally get to that point of like him like realizing, oh, okay, I have the evidence here. You were right. You were right, kind of deal. And so we leave. So now I'm Boz Pitty. So we're now Boz Pitty's in the scene, and don't they mention that too?
Yeah, Boz Pitty is mentioned in Revenge of the Sith. Quinlan Voss has Seleucus Maya falls, and Voss moves his troops to Boz Pitty.
Yes.
So,
and we see this battle above Boz Pitty there, that they have to penetrate past the was it called embargo or whatever of the hyper lane right there to get into the system, into the planet.
Yeah, they have to penetrate for pity's sake.
Yeah, so the blockade that they have in front of the hyperspace lane, again, it's a thing. It's a thing. And
there used to be it's weird though, because Disney ignored the hyperspace lanes completely.
Yeah.
And then they make a point of it in the High Republic. Then the hyperspace lanes are tied to the plot. So what the hell happened?
Yeah, why is it not relevant? Like how many years later? Like 130 years later or something like that? Why is it not, or even a little bit more than that? Or it's like even in the OT, hyper lanes are, and hyperspace is relevant basically.
Yeah, I mean
and PT too.
There's a lot to be said about the High Republic, but at least they're doing the hyperspace lanes correctly.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing hyperspace travel correctly at all, but at least there's the hyperspace lanes.
Yeah.
So credit where it's due. It should be done correctly as automatically in every Star Wars product, though, because that's how the universe works. It's you can't just change it willy-nilly from product to product. That's,
just for like excitement or drama of what's going on at the moment. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and the biggest culprit when it comes to that is J.J. Abrams and Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
They're the one that broke the hyperspace travel thing first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
maybe especially J.J. Abrams in this case.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead, and here we get into dun 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 General Grievous. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at the chat. I just want to say, just view real quick.
This cover spoils the previous one, kind of. or rather the because Anakin said, "Oh yeah, he had dropped off another agent somewhere."
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who that is. We're led to believe it's probably Ventress, and then the cover, Grievous. Okay, it wasn't Ventress; it was Grievous, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I need to go to the restroom real quick. So go ahead and chat with the chat real quick, and then we'll get on to this next one because we have this and the last one to get through with you guys.
Okay,
here.
I'll talk to the chat. Christopher Barker asks what my thoughts on the Plagueis novels are. Well, a lot of people love that one. It's one of the ones that get mentioned often. I'd give it a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I wanted to like it more than I did, and it's kind of like a weird book because it's like a little mini hub for other books because there's stuff happening at the same time as the Plagueis novel. And in the Plagueis novel, you have Palpatine sends Maul out on a mission. Twice, actually, 2 missions. One of them he returns injured from, and we don't know how or why. That's because that happens in the comic called, I think it's just called Maul. And the other one is Darth Maul, the Shadowhunter novel. So you need to read extra stuff to get the whole story, right? It's like you need, that comic and the Maul novel is kind of almost serves as a DLC for the Plagueis story. And then you have Cloak of Deception as well, which also ties into it from the political side. So it's you need one comic and 2 more novels to get the whole story of the Plagueis events, I guess. Which is fine, but I wouldn't. I always thought it was unnecessary because if you buy a novel, which is supposedly standalone, you shouldn't be able to buy extras for it.
Oh, you're talking about Dark Plagueis novel?
But
yeah, that was kind of weird.
It's still a must-read, though, I guess. And I know Lady Toriel in the chat absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And everyone else, but I'd give it like I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. My thing with this is probably maybe my, I guess you could say, headcanon when it comes to like the hierarchy between the novels and the comics. Comics are great, and stuff, but and they're very fun to read, and they do, with Star Wars, they do have a lot of good continuity and stuff, and I always point that out. But the novels, I think, are a little bit higher above than the comics, and so the you shouldn't have to go back to a comic to make sense of a novel, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you also have to go back to a novel.
Yeah, true.
In that case, so it's actually 2 novels.
Yeah, that's where you need to make it a trilogy. Then, if it has to, it's tied back to other sources.
Yeah, actually, that probably would be better. And the Darth Maul novel was written before Plagueis.
Yeah. True. All right, so let's continue on here since we have there's 2 more to go through here. And so now we are on the intervention here, and basically Anakin and Obi-Wan are sparring, and so they're, we know that Jedi, and this has been debated on Twitter. They're like, oh, Jedi are peacekeepers, they're not really fighters, blah blah blah. They're supposed to be monks, they're supposed to be this and this and this. And then I'm like, well, they're really they're knights too as well. They're like samurais, where if they have to, they will fight.
Yeah, and in this case, Palpatine is forcing them to through manipulation. It's kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly. And because he knew that the Jedi will respond even to fight for peace. Yeah. And so he knew that. And that was a great manipulation that he did, because he orchestrated both sides of the war.
Yeah, and the people are right, though, because Jedi are peacekeepers first and foremost.
Yeah.
But in this case, they're being forced to fight a war because that's the only path to peace, apparently.
Yeah, but when people go to extreme with that peacekeeping mentality that they see the Jedi are supposed to be, and they're like, they're not even supposed to fight. And I'm like, they train to fight.
Yeah, they're leaving Palpatine's influence out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly. And then they forget that, they also had, like how many, like, generations of peacetime and stuff as well. So let's go ahead and go further on this one here. And then so basically they have their little banter because, we're starting to see Anakin get a little bit more darker as we get along in these comics here, and his frustration with where he should be as a Jedi. Because, he's already had his ego being played upon by Palpatine about being the best, and the Jedi should make him this and do that, with him and all this other stuff. We start seeing, we see the manipulation going on in his head as well. So, and, so they have this little banter back and forth. And so basically he says, I was hoping a sparring session would distract you. And so that's what, Obi-Wan's like, okay, so let's go ahead and have a spar that'll distract him. Maybe that will get some of his, aggression out or whatever, I guess you could say, or frustrations or whatever's going on in Anakin's mind right now. And basically tells him that, Anakin, that his head is still on Naboo. And, Anakin's like, well, I didn't really want to come with you anyways. I wanted to stay on Naboo, blah, 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 blah. So they have that little thing going back and forth.
Yeah, and it's to be fair though, it's not just Anakin that's frustrated at this point.
Yeah,
because Kenobi's been frustrated for quite a while.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to get at too. Is that and then because he calls Obi-Wan out. He was like, "Look who's talking," So, but this also shows, that when we look at Revenge of the Sith in their final duel. This shows how much they know each other's, moves and their sparring technique.
Mm-hmm.
Each other, even in battle. So very, very interesting. So, and then he's like, Master, you think you know me so well, and you forget that I'm no longer your master. So they're having their banter still back and forth or whatever. And then someone comes in, or basically it's Mace Windu comes in, gentlemen. And he so basically he stops them and he's like, Master Windu, when did you arrive? And he's like, just a few minutes ago. So basically Windu comes, he meets them on the ship there, and they begin to talk about their plans basically. And here we go. And guess who comes with them? The almost entire council.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was a really nice picture of them all.
Actually, all of these Jedi you see, except Kenobi and Anakin, die in Revenge of the Sith.
Yep. And then we have Bill here, and of course, they trust him so well. Like I said, before, if he had the Force sensitivity, the enough Force sensitivity, that he would have been a Jedi and stuff. And he has respect. And then we have Alpha here as well.
Yeah, actually, two of the Jedi don't show up in the movie. My bad. But
what?
Well, two of the Jedi we see don't show up in the movie, so I was a bit wrong. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I don't know if it was me that froze or you.
I could hear you just fine, so I don't know what happened. But like I said all of these Jedis die in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
I was a bit wrong because there's two there. I don't even know who is.
Yeah.
But still,
she dies. I don't remember. She dies in Revenge.
Yeah. She's on the speeder bike.
That's right. That's right. All right. So let's move on here. And so, let me go ahead and go back to this one because we just talked about who dies and stuff. So, fortunately, we have some of the greatest minds in the Jedi Order at our disposal. Basically, he says, and they're planning. Of course, they're planning about overcoming the separatists there on Boz Pity and stuff. And I think at this point is Quinlan on Boz Pity now. I mean, I don't know if in the timeline he is or not, or is that later?
No, he's moved his troops to Boss Pity. That happens during Revenge of the Sith, I guess.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering because I was trying to place that timeline when he does that, because we are looking at the planet Boss Pity right now. And and I see you managed to pull Addie away from her pirate friends. I can't believe you're all here. And then Anakin questions is, are you happy now? There aren't any left on Coruscant, or basically masters because of you. So, and he's like, I don't know if he's directing that towards Obi-Wan, but I think he is.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And then they say you give your master too much credit, Skywalker. So, they know something. They know that there's like this little heat between Obi-Wan and Anakin right now. And basically, we all assigned to Outer Rim campaign from our perspective. You are here to help us. So only we were not searching for Ventress. Our spies still believe she's dead. And but after you discovered that Durge have visited Boz Pity, Master Windu had me scout the system. So basically, they're going to infiltrate Boz Pity so that they can take over the infiltration of the Separatists on Boz Pity. And Boz Pity is a graveyard planet, right?
Yes, it's called the graveyard world.
Yeah, exactly. And it says, don't worry, if there's a hole in the blockade, oddball here will find it, So basically they need to get past that blockade, like I said earlier. So again, we have that going on. And so they basically, they're like, well, someone need an expert pilot to, pilot us through this blockade. Yep. And they choose Anakin.
Mm-hmm. He is the best pilot.
Mm-hmm. And then, Anakin's like, if you don't stop talking to me, I won't be able to concentrate to get us through this blockade kind of jump that they're doing. Because, that's a risky thing that they're doing, because they have that blockade, they're willing. And at this point, they don't have interdiction ships yet, right? Interdictors.
Yeah. And at the bottom, you see if they collide with the planet's mass shadow.
Yes.
They'll be instantly vaporized. Gravity. You can't do hyperspace near the planet's gravity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's another point I was going to get at, but thank you so much. So there's so much to learn about this. And then once you learn about like the mechanics and world building, even with hyperspace and how to move through it and stuff like that, it just tears the Disney Star Wars apart. I'm sorry.
And this is not just EU stuff at all. Yeah. This is from episode 4. Han Solo talks about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you even see it. The rebels on Hoth need to get out into space, away from the planet's gravity, before they make the hyperspace jump. Yeah. And the Imperial Star Destroyers are blocking that hyperspace lane, which is why they use the ion cannons to kind of disable them, to make them fall to the side a bit, to open up. It's in the movies, sadly, J.J. Abrams probably didn't watch them.
Probably not. And so we have Anakin here piloting them, and it kind of shares a little bit here, and I don't know if it's a foreshadowing, but how they still doubt Anakin.
Also, if you see the pilots in the top left corner, top right corner, slowly turning into TIE fighter pilot outfits. Yeah,
very true. Interesting. Nice catch. When I looked at it, I didn't really correlate that.
Well, that's Pretty why cool. You have me.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Just stroking the ego now.
No, it's I actually just noticed it myself.
Oh, okay. So I thought maybe you noticed it a while back. So I'm like, oh, cool. That's interesting. But that is really interesting. There you go. We have the evolution of history here, basically. So And basically they're, Anakin's like, don't distract me. But then, we have Obi-Wan behind him. Anakin, trust me, reach out to the Force, sense the starships in the blockade. And, and then he's like, everyone hang on. But, basically he's like, I can't concentrate if you guys are all talking to me, kind of deal. And we still have, Obi-Wan and Anakin still have this.
You know what he should have said?
What's that?
Master Kenobi, there's too many of them. What am I supposed to do?
Oh my God. That would have been funny. That'd been sad too.
And that's why he kills the younglings, because it reminds him of that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't leave him alone. He's like, I need to concentrate here now. You guys shut up.
To be fair, though, when Anakin attacked the temple, it was very late in the evening, and those younglings were out of bed and moving around. They should be in bed. Anakin did nothing wrong.
So that was their punishment for not being in bed.
They were out of bed, and they were snooping around, and
they were put up into the master's chambers to be safe.
No,
I don't know why. I don't know why you would think that they would. When you
they were up late at night, and they were snooping around where they shouldn't be. Anakin just exacted discipline as an adult should.
Oh my God, Steve, that's so dark. Oh my God. You know what's so funny is that, probably you would think, because when you read into post Return of the Jedi lore, especially when you get into Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi, and maybe even some books before then, you learn that there's like so many different like emergency tunnels and whatever underneath the, even in New Jedi Order, there's a lot of like tunnels and passageways underneath the Jedi Temple. You would think that they would have escorted, the youngling through one of those.
Well, there was clone troopers and Anakin between them, I believe.
Yeah, true. I mean, because I don't know the whole dynamics of the temple and where leads to what to those tunnels and stuff.
Yeah, and to be fair, they weren't sure what the heck was going on.
Yeah, true.
Because there's Anakin shows up with clone troopers, right? There's nothing unusual with that during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Matt Wilkins. I knew Stig was going to defend the slaughter of the younglings.
It wasn't a slaughter; it was a spanking.
Yeah, it was a spanking where like they lost their lives. Yeah, those naughty youngins.
Yep.
And then Lady Toriel, boy, Stig, that's harsh. I could just hear her voice too. I could just hear it in my head.
They have a set bedtime for the younglings for a good reason.
Yeah. And she says, I love the banter between these two. And she's probably talking about Obi-Wan and Anakin. Yeah, so that's very interesting, Stig. You got everybody cracking up probably. But with this right here, with Obi-Wan telling Anakin to reach out to the Force, I think that's kind of a foreshadowing with him with or Obi-Wan with Luke as well.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little bit, just kind of like the master reaching out to his apprentice, and they're still, in this master-apprentice relationship because, Obi-Wan's like, I'm not your master no more. You're a knight now, kind of deal. And then, so it references back even to when they talk about in A New Hope, when I left you, I was once the, apprentice now or whatever, and now I'm the master or whatever, or the learner, sorry. They've always seen themselves in that relationship. So. All right. Yes,
and Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith sees himself. Well, in the whole movie, really sees himself as a master. He's pissed he doesn't get the title, so that also fits.
Exactly, because he's like, like from the manipulation of Palpatine and stuff, and all that, and him, being reminded he's a chosen one and very strong and stuff. He does have that complex, really, and so let's go ahead and move on. So basically we have them, they're in hyperspace. They're going to do that little maneuver that Anakin's piloting them through, when you could see like the sound effects from it. We've hit the system, but we're moving too fast for scanners. We're flying blind. And that's dangerous too. Flying blind in hyperspace is dangerous as well.
Yeah. And then you get a very loud noise that goes scree, which is foreshadowing the sounds that Raylos make.
Oh my God. They scream, huh? Scream. And so we have that. And I didn't see what Obi-Wan was, saying to him. I didn't scroll in. Is it readable?
Yeah, you need to zoom in.
That's what I got to do. Let me see here. Let's see here. Holy heck. Anakin, stay clear. I can't see what this is. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so basically he's probably talking to him through the Force, trying not to distract him too much. And you could see Anakin is, reaching out to the Force and he's letting the Force guide him and stuff. But again, he's still getting interruptions, right?
Yep.
And so they pull in here, they get in, but they're not successful. They were too close, they jumped in too close, and they're caught in the planet's gravitational pull.
Yeah.
And
imagine that. And then they have to get the troops out fast because that is bad.
Uh-huh. Exactly. You can't just like what you see with the ST with the Rise of Skywalker, I believe. I've seen the scenes. I think it's that one where they just jump, where Poe just jumps from planet to planet blindly into planet, like into basic cities of the planet.
Yeah, and they also in Rogue One when they escape Jedi, Jeddah, they make the hyperspace jump while in the gravity clearly because mountains and shit is crumbling behind them.
Yes,
that hyperspace jump should not have worked at all. So that's a plot hole. All of them should have been dead.
Yeah. And Soul Assassin says, in episode 4, and we've covered this already, but I'll just repeat it. Anyways, Han Solo explained why flying blind is a bad idea. Don't want to jump into a supernova or black hole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or if you get too close to a planet.
Exactly. Like this right here. Here's a fine example of that, everybody. So again, I'm sorry, as much as Disney, Lucasfilm wanted to recreate the stories and stuff, if it doesn't keep in continuity with the movies that they're keeping of George's, like the OT and the PT, you friggin' screwed up because people are going to call it out. So. All right, and here we go. So here's the blockade here and the fighting. So we have a clear picture of that. This is what they're flying into. Basically,
it's like the opening to Revenge of the Sith mixed with the final battle of the Phantom Menace. See the droid control ships, and there's separatist stuff all around. There's all out war.
Sheer chaos. Sheer chaos here. And I really love the coloring here and all of that. Like even like with the glowing of the ships and stuff. Very, very good here. And says, all escape pods are away. Brace for entry. So again, another foreshadowing of Revenge of the Sith because he has to pilot them down onto the planet safely. So then this is like here so this already shows that he has experiences of emergency piloting. That's why he took, control of that and says, brace yourselves, let's do this kind of deal. When you see him, at the end of the Battle of Coruscant, above Coruscant.
Yes. And all this happens because they came out of hyperspace too close to a planet.
Correct. So he remains control. He lands them down as safely as he can, considering the circumstance, because they came out of a hyperspace in the planet gravity well. And then sorry about that landing. But they made it. We survived this. All that matters. Nice work, Anakin. So basically, they're safe and sound. Anakin's the hero. And, in a sense, Obi-Wan was right. He's the one who can handle this.
Yes.
Even though the jump wasn't as a success as they wanted it to be, he handled it in the emergency as well. And then, so here we go. So, welcome to Boss Pity. Basically, what is this place? It's a graveyard place, basically. That's what it is. And Master Tin, we've landed. So basically, they're letting everybody know that they landed and all of that. And Master Tin is above Boss Pity, and he's in the fight that we just seen.
Yeah, space battle going on, and they're drawing the enemy to them, basically.
Yeah. Yep. And then so here we go. So here, this is above Boss Pity, and So basically, he's like, I suggest that you find your objective quickly, because they're having, there's a lot of shit going on there, and they're having there's a lot of conflict. It's overwhelming, all of that.
Yeah.
So he's like, stick to your mission and take care of it as soon as you can, please. Basically, is what he's saying.
Soul Assassin makes a good point in the chat. He says it gives Kenobi's another happy landing line more credit in episode 3.
There you go.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And when I make my outro for my my channel, I'm gonna have another happy landing kind of deal for the outro. So there you go. I was thinking about that, and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect for my outro. Another happy landing." All right.
I'm more into another happy entry, but that's private.
Oh my God. Well, I guess that does make sense. All right. All right. So let's move on. Huh?
Just poking fun.
Yeah, I know you're just poking fun. Dun dun dun. All right. So basically, they are looking for the concentration of the separatists' forces. And Anakin, or Obi-Wan, basically says that he feels her there. So, and they also say that from those who escaped, those who fled the ship and stuff, they located where the separatists are on the planet, their base, and so they already met them. So they were trying to do the surprise, but because of the emergency that they had suffered, the element of surprise didn't happen, and so they're basically now in battle with them. And so Anakin's like, well, let's just attack, because they're like, what do we do next? And I'm like, well, let's just attack. There's nothing else we can do but fight, basically. And so that's what they do. So, and so Bell is also in this, of course, even though we didn't really see him much, during that time. I don't know. He might have been on the escape pods too, right?
Yeah, he's on a different part of the battlefield with the other ones that escaped. And
Exactly.
They're trying to take the base, and then a shadowy figure shows up in the doorway, much like, behind Adi Gallia.
Yes.
And lo and behold, it's almost Darth Maul-ish.
Yeah. Almost Darth Maul-ish here. So, and then you have the eye here. So,
which is Grievous, as the cover told us and spoiled for us.
Mm-hmm. I know. Sometimes they need to keep the element of surprise off the covers, And here we go. So he
kills the Jedi that I didn't even know who was, because that Jedi was just there to be killed in the comic.
Yeah,
we've never seen him before, I believe. So he snaps his neck, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, because you could see where the blood's at.
Yeah, he crushes his skull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's ruthless. He is. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, Grievous can be such a headache.
Oh goodness. Yeah, and then so we have him right here, and he easily just like mauls through the clone troopers here.
Yeah, he chops one of them in half.
Actually, there's two of them.
Three.
There, with one stroke. Whom. Yep.
Yeah. Or two. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. And then basically he's where's Mate's like, where's Obi-Wan? He goes, I don't know. We got separated. Of course, there's so much crap going on right now.
And you know why he got separated?
Okay.
Because that's what the enemies do. They're separatists.
Should have known that was coming. And then so Obi-Wan manages to get inside the base here. And he says, I can sense her. She's still alive. And lo and behold, look who's still alive.
In the bacta tank with cables in her.
Yeah, because that's she got damaged from her and Anakin's last confrontation. So she's getting healed right now. So, and then, dun, dun, dun. So here we go. I almost used this one as the cover. I did the cover, the thumbnail, and after I went back to just review the comics last night before I went to bed, and I was like, damn, this would have been a better cover, but.
Yes, it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
It's such a great image here.
You fucked up.
No, I did not.
There's no way to put it.
I did not fuck up. You just like Ventress so much that if I put on every single one that dealt with her, you would have been happy.
Yes, but this is your last chance at Ventress.
Oh well, cry me a river.
No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna make you cry though.
No, you're not. Can't make me cry.
I'm gonna melt the Star Wars book.
You're gonna melt. Well, then that's your problem.
Blame you.
That's like when you told that person on Twitter, joking around and being sarcastic.
Well, I didn't even tell her. I was joking at Del Rey.
Yeah, that's right. You were joking at Del Rey, and then she went off on you. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm not a Karen who would get so pissed off because you melted.
That was I was just trying to do like an absurd joke, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And Del Rey usually replies too. And I said if they don't do the Jaina Solo trilogy, I will take my vintage Darth Vader Kenner action figure and melt it.
Yes.
And Del Rey will be to blame for this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how the heck can you not see that's a stupid joke? I mean, let's say it wasn't. And I melt my vintage Vader figure, which I don't even have.
Yeah.
All it's going to lead to is me having a puddle of melted plastic. Del Rey's not going to suffer one bit from that.
No, they're not. But that person had to Karen. She just had to Karen.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was about, but I wished her a happy Easter though, and I meant that. Hope she had a good Easter.
Yeah. It was quite funny, even amusing with her response to you. I was like, really, lady, just get over it. There's nothing's gonna happen either way, and it's not gonna affect Del Rey's decision in any way.
Yeah, and if I had a vintage Kenner Vader, I wouldn't melt it. Come on.
Yeah. That's hilarious. All right, so let's move on here. So we have Ventress.
Maybe we should address the chat first, though, so we don't fall too far behind.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. We'll leave it on this page here because it's just interesting to look at. So let's see here.
I keep seeing Wilkins being full of shit all over the place in there.
Really? What is he saying?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Just scroll up and have a look.
It says, I love how the art describes the action without words on that page. Yes, that's what I love too. Is just it's very, very visual. Let's see here. Yes. I wouldn't mind Stig fly into supernova. Just saying. Oh my god.
You to save you.
And then I would say that there would be no funny and interesting commentary between you and Matt Wilkins, Stig, if you flew into one. Let's see here. Anything
Actually, if I flew into one, I'd make sure he was my passenger.
Well, then you guys will go down together, and it'll be sad either way around. And then let's see here. All right, here. If I had $1 for every time Stig said something nice, I'd be broke.
Ha! I just said something nice.
Oh, you too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm just gonna have this like coffee chat with you guys with no comics and have Matt and Stig in here so we can just talk Star Wars and hear them go back and forth with each other.
So stick $1 in your pink G-string, Matt Wilkins.
Oh goodness. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this comic here. So we have her in the bathtub. And, you know, Obi-Wan goes up to her, what have they done to you? And lo and behold, we have Dooku there. We see him in the background anyways, but Obi-Wan didn't really notice him. I didn't film in the Force, but we also know that, you know, people can hide in the Force as well. Because, you know, Palpatine's been doing it, you know, all this time, you know, and blinding everybody with the dark side. And then you speak as if we had transformed Ventress against her will. And he's like, Dooku, you know, kind of deal. And so he tells them, you know, don't insult me with I've learned a Ventress past. So basically he's defending Ventress, and he basically said that she's misled and not evil. And you could have taught her compassion and control. Instead, you have preyed upon her weakness, filled her full of hate. So this is kind of interesting, because when we see Obi-Wan in A New Hope or in the OT, basically they don't think that Anakin can be redeemed. But then he thinks that he can redeem her here. What do you think about that, Steve?
Yeah, I guess there's a link.
You
know, her eye is messed up too.
It is.
Probably a cybernetic eye.
Yeah.
Anakin, when he fried her, probably melted her eye.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was friggin' basically electrocuted. I mean, she was wrapped up in all those wires.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she really took she really had a shocking experience, really.
Yeah, she got a current view of the situation.
Exactly. And so, I don't want to spoil anything like that, but I think this might be a turning point for how Anakin feels, or Obi-Wan feels, about like redemption kind of thing. I don't know. So let's go ahead and move on. All right. And so basically they have their thing going back and forth. And he goes, when I first found her, Ventress was already consumed by hate, not just for the Jedi Order, but for life itself, I think. But basically he's also, she, that gang that was on her planet is the one that killed her family, right? And then her family, and then later on, her master got defeated too. So she had two experiences with her family and her master that sent her down that dark path. So Dooku was a bit right. He did find her conflicted, but he used that confliction to manipulate her, because that's what the dark side people do. That's what they do.
Like, you want revenge, don't you? Yeah.
yeah, I can teach you, blah blah blah, kind of deal. And then she wakes up and she's like, I sense Obi-Wan, or whatever. And so she starts raging, and bam, she bursts out of the Bacta tank. So there you go. And I find it interesting that the Bacta tank, the light around her is like a reddish, orangish, kind of like an evil kind of thing. But when you look at Bacta used in other things, when it comes to healing for the Jedi or anything, it's more of a bluish color. So I thought that was interesting. So, and her eye, look at it, it's sparking. There's like a little bit of spark coming out of her eye. So probably it is a cybernetic or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, she's sparkly, and she isn't finished. They're still working on her. So she comes out of the tank half finished.
Exactly. So whatever was injured, they were repairing her with cybernetics and stuff like that. And so she tells him, don't you pity me, Kenobi, kind of deal. I am fear, basically. So she basically just reiterate, she shares like, I'm fear, I'm the queen of a blood scorched, soaked planet. And, so she basically just breaks down who she is and stuff. She's full of anger right now. She wants the sabers back. She still has that vengeance against Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan's like, I know that there's good in you, kind of deal. And that's what made him on this mission to find her, is that he thinks that she can be redeemed.
She even has that sparkle in her eye when she
says for Kenobi.
Literally.
There we go. So, and then so we get back to the outside on the battlegrounds here. And so basically Squad 7 is the one that's with them, and that's Alpha and his people. And go ahead.
No, they're taking losses, and they just lost a Jedi, and
and they're like, and Grievous is the one that's basically the one to deal with, I guess you can say. He's a Jedi killer as well.
So he goes in like and he has the his little his droid guards, the cloaked ones, which I always thought looked really cool.
Yeah,
they were underused a bit. And you see Adigalia and Alpha fighting them, and I'm not sure what Grievous does to them. Is it punching him or
something like that? Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get the super chat, and then I'll take a look at it, further look at that. So Matt G 149, thank you so much for the super sticker. And it is a Doomacorn. And I wish Mary was here to give that doom. But there you go. Thank you so much for the Doomacorn. And thank you so much for contributing to the channel. Matt Wilkins, is there any good left in Stig, or has he completely fallen to the dark side?
Yesterday, when we left the chat after the open airlock thing, Matt Wilkins said, "I love you, Stig." And I let him know
There's
that
some romance going on for them two there.
I let him know that I know.
True Star Wars romance between the two, the bromance. Right. It says, would anyone in the chat have wanted Ventress to be redeemed in the EU? That's a good question. So let's go ahead and get on with this, and then we can further discuss that once we get to that point of what's going on with this.
Hey, Wilkins, if Ventress was on a date with me, she wouldn't be that angry. So I'm actually I'm a pretty good cook. I'd make her boiled cod and stuff, but who doesn't like that?
Alrighty then. So we do have the battle commencing as well, and Adi's here, and of course the troops are taking losses as well, and so Grievous is a force to reckon with, and and then she basically says, General Grievous, your rampage ends now, and he goes, you can try to stop me. I was built to kill your kind, which is true, and it's it's even said in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But she does take a hit.
Yeah, he starts choking her a bit.
I know, but okay, so we have the choking going on. They're battling right now. We have the choking going on. And then it looks like he gets her, impales her with the saber.
This is where we realize, oh shit, he has 4 arms.
Yep.
So he stabs her in the gut.
Yep. And Mace is, seeing that, he witnesses it, and you're too late. There's nothing you can do for her, and I make sure you don't kill again. So basically, it's interesting because we don't have Anakin, or we don't have Obi-Wan fighting him, and there's a reason why.
Yes, and we also don't have Anakin fighting Dooku.
Correct. Not like the Clone Wars.
He wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Their confrontation happens in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So keeping in continuity here, ladies and gents. That's that was a concept at one time.
There we have Mace Windu picking up. I think it's one of those bikes, isn't it? That and smashes it into Grievous, and Alpha is. His back is broken.
Yep. And of course, Anakin, in his true nature, he's like, he wants to save everyone. So he's like, hang on, and and basically he's like, he's in bad shape, and his spine is damaged and blah blah blah. But they still, but Anakin's like, we need to talk. We need he's like, I will never. This is the true clone nature of even from how Mandalorians are. Because, we know that alphas were trained by Mandalorians, right? That Jango brought them in and stuff. Mandalorians will continue to fight even if they can only move their hands. And
and this is what this guy does. He says, patch me up before I bleed to death and give me a gun. Because his hands will work.
He'll go down fighting. That's what the true nature of Mandalorians are. And the alphas were trained that way.
Yeah, perfect continuity.
Exactly. And basically, Anakin says he'll live, and he's like, hopefully we could say the same about Obi-Wan, because he's inside the well, he was inside the base.
Yeah, and to be fair, that one there though should have killed him because he's been sent flying through concrete wall or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of felt the same way too, and now if it was through a transparent steel, or glass, then that would have made more sense that, he would probably still been damaged from the fall and stuff, but it wouldn't have been impactful. So all we could say is that maybe the blast, made the impact going through the wall.
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
But he's been roughed up by Ventress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And she calls Anakin an arrogant pup. Who doesn't like to be called a pup by an angry bald lady?
Well, that's the shit. I would be cussing him out too for sending me down the depths of Coruscant wrapped in wire, being shocked.
You'd be high strung.
Right. She's high strung.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. So there she is. She's basically leaped out, using the Force to leap out. And so basically he's like, I killed you once. Do you want a second to die a second time? So I thought that was kind of funny. And so he truly thought she was dead, and he truly thought Obi-Wan was nuts for thinking she was alive. Like, you're obsessed with her, Obi-Wan, get over it. And then she tells him this outcome will be different. And Obi-Wan tells him Anakin no. And then he's like, what are you doing, kind of deal. So we have another showdown with Ventress and the two here, and she's still obsessed. Look at her eye, it's cybernetic, so one eye's glowing, one eye's not. This is the state she is in right now. So
and there's cables sticking out of her, and it's not necessarily cables, it's probably something feeding her back to killing her innards.
Exactly. Because she did explode out of rage from the back to tank. She did shatter it with rage. And so they continue to fight and stuff. And he's like, Ventress, listen to me. We are here to help you. And he's like, she's basically, you don't need to be alone any longer. And so he is using like that reverse psychology that you see Darksiders use on, to turn someone. He's using that reverse psychology, which Luke did to his dad. Yeah.
And then you have Dooku saying, pick up Ventress and Grievous if they're still alive, and kill any clones you encounter, but leave the Jedi to me.
Yeah. And she basically says her loyalty lies with Dooku here. But he goes, but where does his loyalty lie to Ventress? And so Dooku's like, we need to leave, basically. And then we have Mace Windu saying the war ends here. So we have a lot of confrontation. Again, we can't have, Obi-Wan or Anakin fight Dooku right now. So we have Mace.
Yeah, and you have Mace is basically a sword master.
Yes, he is.
And Count Dooku is considered to be the best duelist in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So this is a hell of a pairing.
It is.
Yeah.
That would have been fun to see on the screen, these two. So, and then what? You can't think these droids will stop me. So basically, he has his droid sneak up behind him, and he gets caught off guard. Huh?
Yeah, they pull him off the cliff.
Exactly. And then he said, but they will keep you occupied while I make my departure. True villain nature, I will distract you while I run, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I kind of giggled at that, and he goes, basically he gets to his escape shuttle, and there's no time to waste. And so basically Obi-Wan tells Ventress, Dooku flees without you. He would leave you here to die.
Yeah, and this, I read about this. This conflicts with the Tartakovsky cartoon.
Really? In what way?
Yeah, because this is how Grievous gets his chest injured, apparently. But the Tartakovsky version is the canon one, when Windu crushes him. I think they were written at the same time or something like that. And it was specified that the canon version was the one from Tartakovsky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't put those two together. All right. So she screams out master and whatever. And then we have visual confirmation that, Commander Ventress is alive. And she goes, basically, he leaves her on purpose. She's like, she betrayed me. She's a failure. Let's leave.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say she's betrayed him, but she has failed at every turn. And she has, technically.
Yeah.
She's killed a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but she's failed the missions, usually.
Yeah, and they blast her. Look at that.
Yep.
She takes it in the chest. That is friggin' cold-blooded right there.
The shoulder, I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, shoulder, whatever. But, she takes the hit up in her upper body.
Yep.
And, so basically he runs to Ventress and stuff like that. And, Anakin's like, we need to stop Dooku, but, Obi-Wan won't abandon her. Because that was his thing all along. He's like, I know there's good in her, and I want to, save her.
This is the opposite of what we see in Attack of the Clones, when Anakin doesn't want to leave Padme.
Yeah.
But Kenobi says, you have to do our duty, and Padme would. So this is reversed. Kenobi doesn't want to do his duty because of Ventress, and Anakin is
yeah, and he even cusses. He says blast right here, basically. So
and pay attention to her hand. She's grabbing a metal shard.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's turn the page to see what happens. All right. So he's like, help me save her. And basically he says she needs medical attention. I'll try to locate a medic. And you have drove him away. So she blames them for driving Dooku away. And there's the shard right there.
Which is also what Anakin does. He blames Kenobi for having turned Padme against him.
Mm-hmm.
It's complete brainwash. They're blaming everything else, and it's all hatred, right?
Yeah, that's what the dark side does, right? They find blame elsewhere.
Yep.
Instead of looking at the truth at hand.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And then so he sees the metal shard, and so he goes to protect his master, and bam, he gets her in the back.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, what have you done? And he's like, I'm sorry, but she was going to kill you. This lunatic was going to kill you. He basically said she really never stopped wanting to kill me, not for one moment. But you're the only one who saw things clearly. So he kind of gives that point to Anakin. But then he goes, no, I was being selfish. Okay, so this goes clearly good with Anakin's arc. He goes, no, I was being selfish. I struck her down for the fear. As long as she lives, I will always be afraid of losing you, Master. And that goes into Anakin's arc perfectly, because he's afraid of losing people close to him.
Yeah, but she's still alive.
She is still alive. And she cries out to Obi-Wan, and he basically says, he realizes that she's still, and you could see tears in Obi-Wan's eyes. There's a lot of drama going on here and stuff. But basically, says,
you missed something.
Okay, what did I miss? Sorry.
One of the things she's saying the same thing Anakin says to Luke when he's dying on the Death Star.
Oh yeah, it says
it's too late to save her, and, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. I just totally forgot about that one.
Pay attention, lady.
All right, and then and the pity is gone from your eyes, basically, is what she says. And yes, you'll be the one with the Force soon, finally at peace. So he's kind of realizing if you're gonna die, and you'll be one with the peace. You're basically redeemed in a sense.
Yeah, and she tells Dooku as a final little bit of a revenge. She says, "Watch the center of the galaxy. The key to victory is is, you defend Coruscant from Dooku. So
Exactly.
Dooku's planning something with Coruscant. Hint, hint, Revenge of the Sith opening.
Exactly. And so basically, look, she looks like her life she's gone. And then basically they send her off on a medic ship, right?
Yeah, they're sending her to Coruscant for a proper funeral.
That's right. Yeah, because he feels that because she's been in so much conflict and battles and stuff that he feels that she needs a proper send-off.
Yeah, and Alpha is paralyzed from the waist down. And he might not get fixed.
Yeah, he gets sent off in the medics too and stuff. And I don't know about this era, but I know once you get into Legacy or what's it? Yeah, Legacy of the Force, they do have the technology and the medicines to help someone who starts becoming or has paralyzation. Not trying to spoil anything, but that's a thing. So I don't know at this time frame if they have that medical research done yet or not. Who knows? But that's what I was thinking about when I was reviewing this last night. That I wonder if that technology was invented during this time frame on helping people with overcome paralyzation. Who knows? So just a little thing to refer back to as well. And then so basically, they all regroup here and they basically talk about, but this doesn't feel like a victory. And in any war, the only decisive battle is the last one. So they just, they ponder about what's going on and if this was really a victory or not. And here we go. So epilogue. And then, so it's on a mythical freight, bright flight, 2 days after the battle on Ba's Pity. Life support is running a little hot. It's just overtaxed. I don't think we're ever had this much back to running at once,
and it's because she has used it to heal herself.
Exactly. And so basically, who and then how, and she basically says Sith meditation technique slowed my functions. The Force did the rest. And you won't kill us? And she goes, no, I still have wounds to be treated, but you will change course.
Yeah,
I'll change course where. And so basically she doesn't want anything to do with the Jedi, the Sith, or what's going on, and she wants to be taken far away.
Yeah, she uses the Jedi mind trick and then gets away. And this is the last we see of Ventress in the old canon.
Exactly.
She was obviously being saved to be used later, but never happened.
And that would have been interesting to see how they would use her, because she's like done with the Sith, done with the Jedi. Does she kind of turn into what, I don't know. What was her name? What was the bounty hunter's name? What's her name again? The other bald one. Remember her? She's a bounty hunter kind of person. What was her name again?
Aura Singh.
There you go. I was like, shit, I can't think of her name. Yeah, Aura Singh. Does she kind of turn into something like that? Who knows? We would not know now. So.
Yeah, Aura Singh, the former Padawan Force-sensitive bounty hunter that Filoni didn't know was Force-sensitive.
Yeah. Yep. And so what do you people in the chat and then Stig too, do you think she should have been used later on in the EU, or how do you think she should have been used? Or what would you have been your prediction if you had any?
I would have had her in the Outer Rim somewhere. I don't know. Maybe this is a good ending for her, She gets away from the war and everything, and
she just got tired of it all, basically, is what my feeling is. And I know that, sometimes, killing characters off was never a thing with Star Wars until we got to the New Jedi Order, in a sense, because, it's like almost every other book.
Well,
Was
a dark saber though.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
of deaths in that one.
Correct. And so she's a huge character. Everybody loved her for who she is and what she did and stuff like that. Very popular with the fandom, of obviously. So even if we didn't see a death of her disappearing, I guess makes sense in a way, because she got tired of the Jedi, she got tired of the Sith. She was just betrayed on all ends, basically, in her mind.
Yeah. She needs a timeout, and
Yeah.
I guess this works as an okay ending. I think Disney just killed her off in a novel.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird because I don't know.
I think in that novel, or in like even the novel with Voss, that because they brought him back in the canon as well. I think they had them as having an affair, from what I heard.
And the weird thing is, Disney canceled the Clone Wars show. And then they released that novel to kind of wrap up Voss and Ventress. And it's like, it's a bit shitty for the Clone Wars fans, isn't it? Here's we're not going to film the remaining story arcs, so we're just going to kill her off in a novel.
Yeah.
And in the novel, Quinlan Voss is not a dumb surfer dude, as he was portrayed on the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So continuity a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, just a hint.
Yeah, Filoni didn't really believe in continuity. I think I seen a quote of his regarding that.
Oh yeah, he doesn't give a damn about continuity. He's even said it, but it's not just him though, because whoever wrote the novel would have had to watch the Clone Wars and then do the Clone Wars Voss, right?
Yeah.
So
they just didn't know which direction they wanted to go.
There's two Quinlan Vosses in Disney canon. One is a stupid surfer dude, and the other one is kind of normal, but he's not the same as in these comics, though. So it's technically there's three versions of Quinlan Voss out there.
Yeah.
And
I prefer the original Quinlan Voss that was made prior to the Clone Wars.
Yeah. It's because that one was the most fleshed out.
Yes.
And it's weird because all Filoni had to do was read the Wikipedia page, and he'd get the gist of Quinlan Voss, right? It doesn't take that long. It's you can read it in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. And he couldn't even do that. He just looked at a picture of him and went, yeah, looks like a surfer dude. Let's go with that.
He had the archives from the continuity department, basically the Lucas licensing continuity department.
Yes, he had everything.
Research right there.
Yeah.
He could have picked up I guess you could say, quote unquote, Bible that they have and read something.
Yes, that's all. It didn't have to, the Clone Wars it's not that complex,
No.
I mean, he was only in it for like 1 or 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So you don't need to flesh out his entire background in the Clone Wars. The fans already knew that. They read the comics.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone, but
I got what you're saying. Yeah.
The ones who would know who he was, and all he had to do was that, and that's like the very least you should expect from a writer.
Yeah.
Is that they do a little bit of research, right? If you're gonna write a book set in New Orleans, right? At least read up a little bit about New Orleans. What it looks like and all that.
Yeah.
Every writer does that. He doesn't. He just looked at one picture and went, yeah, this looks like a surfer dude. Let's go with that.
Right. Yeah, and it's he Holocron Library Fox, to portray Jedi Master as dumb surfer dude is pretty dumb, but of course a story can only be as wise as its creator. Woo, that was a nice hit right there. And then George Hilton Filoni was watching Point Break one night.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like his character in Point Break, and let's go ahead and portray Quinlan Vos that way. And the thing is, even if you didn't read the comics and you were introduced to Quinlan Vos in the Clone Wars, making the character true to the character within the lore that you're writing from would have probably made someone more interested in researching and wanting to know more about Quinlan Vos.
Yeah, right? and why the hell will the Jedi have a Jedi Master that's that dumb?
Right.
How did he even become a master in the Clone Wars? I mean, he's dumb as shit.
Even if they explained it too, because we knew that he was a spy, that he was an infiltrator. Basically, if you know a little bit about like the Jedi lore, he was a sentinel. He went undercover, right? So even if he went undercover as a stupid, ignorant looking dude, that was out of character for Quinlan.
It's out of character for the Jedi too.
Exactly.
Because you want people that are wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wisdom is a big thing.
Yeah.
Then you have that moron is all of a sudden has become a Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So that was very off-putting there. And so everyone, thank you guys for tuning in. This was I think this was a fine ending for Ventress. You know, maybe this would have set up for one more adventure with her before you know, the PT ends and we get into the Empire era, but it didn't. We know why. So even because it didn't happen, this was still a fairly nice little ending to her, in a sense of her like just being disgusted with everything and just wanting out of life, in a sense, or out of the war and out of, you know, these four societies, I guess you can say. She was done.
Yeah.
So
and this is the last Clone Wars comic stream we'll be doing for a while until Volume 4 is out.
Yeah.
Which is in December. So in order to keep the thing going, we're going to move into the Rebellion comics.
Yes.
And, Rebellion Volume 1. Next time we do this.
Yeah, Rebellion Volume 1. Yeah, and I'm super excited about that. I'm also excited to go back and once it's out and review or, you know, continue and finish up the Republic ones with Quinlan Vos and stuff, because that's such a fun story as well. And, you know, we were talking about Quinlan, and this will have his basically his somewhat ending as well. So
yeah, and so I guess maybe January when we have an opening, we'll do the other Clone Wars stuff.
Well, even if we have to take a pause from what we were doing, we can go back to that.
Yeah,
and revisit it. So
yeah, and so if you like Han, Luke, Leia, and Wedge, it's going to be a lot of those, and some new characters, some really cool female characters.
Yes,
are introduced in the Rebellion comics, and this will be, you know, the classic era. It starts right after A New Hope.
Yeah.
So we get to see the rebels scrounging about and struggling in the galaxy. And there's a lot of Vader stuff too. And we also get a tie-in to the Battle of Jabim storyline that we
yes
a few months ago in the Clone Wars.
Exactly. And I can't wait for that. I mean, continuity matters, right? And that's what I love about this, is that you get these tie-ins and you get to be like, oh, you know, this happened back here with the father, and now the son has to deal with it now. It's like what happens in the past does, you know, affect the future. Basically, I'm not trying to make any spoilers here or anything like that, but I think that's exciting because we get this full history of lore. That's very fascinating.
Yeah, and have you read the Rebellion ones?
I've started to read some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get myself ahead of schedule a little bit here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Toriel bought the first two the other day.
Nice.
She found two of them in one package fairly fairly cheap.
Woohoo! What a great find, Lady Toriel. That's awesome. Stig is great at helping us find those. Thank you. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that.
she found that one herself.
Oh, okay. Well, then
But,
that's cool too. But I give credit where credit's due. Stig, when he finds like deals, he's like, "Hey, this is what I found at this price. You should jump on that if you don't have it yet."
I did find the New Republic Volume 1 for her, though. I did the same with you. I think it's probably the same seller, actually.
Yeah.
And so she's getting that one too. So she finally gets to read the Mara Jade comics and the Shadows of the Empire Evolution.
Yes. Oh my God, that's going to be so much fun.
Imagine reading those for the first time.
Yeah. Yes, it's gonna be quite an adventure. I can't wait. But we have Culture Casino Rebellion comics. Cool. Yeah. So this is what's gonna happen here. So Stig, are you gonna take a week break?
I think so. Well,
okay.
we'll see over the weekend.
Okay.
I've been very brain tired lately. I was supposed to do a lot less YouTube and stuff like that, but they keep dragging me on.
Yeah, but you go on channels where that focuses on your interest too. So I understand it's hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah, it's the timing of them, because a lot of them are at night, my time. Mm-hmm. And this is the 5th stream I've done in 2.5 days.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you do need a rest.
Yeah, and then there's we played I played D&D twice too.
Yeah, we were supposed to do some D&D today, but he's gonna probably go and relax and rest and stuff. And I get it, and I have to go do some errands as well. So, so if Stig does take a break, Coffee's Chat is still gonna happen. So I'll probably maybe have a couple of guests on here discussing just basic EU lore. Having questions from the panel or from the chat. As well. So stay tuned for that. So either way, it's still going to happen. Either Stig's going to be here, we're going to review comics. If not, then we'll have like a guest panel with questions about the EU and discussion about the EU. Just nerd about just anything, not just a specific time frame that we're doing here, but just chat about the EU in general. So stay tuned for that. I will let you guys know on Twitter.
It's probably going to be Wilkins, and as soon as you see Wilkins, you're going to miss me big time.
I can't wait to have both of you and Matt together on my channel. It's going to be fun. All right. So I have some errands I got to take off and do. So thank you guys in the chat for tuning in. Obsession was a marvelous story to get through. I enjoyed it. Kind of sad in a sense. There's a lot of foreshadowing going on. The what's to come and why, people or why like Jedi have their mindset. Like Obi-Wan, he thought that, Asajj could be redeemed and so forth. And, somewhere along the line, his mind changes.
Well, maybe he's actually right. We don't know. Mm-hmm. She doesn't kill these two people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, we will never know exactly now, but it's just fascinating watching these tie-ins and this foreshadowing and all that. It's fun. And so again, thank you, Stig, for co-hosting through these comics. Between both of us, we notice continuity stuff and share what, and research all of that. So it's been quite a fun adventure with you, Stig. And thank you guys in the chat for always coming in and laughing at our banter and enjoying the comics and the reviews. And I hope this encouraged you to pick up these comics if you don't have them already, and enjoy them. And again, if you don't have Rebellion Volume 1, I would, go on and look for it and purchase it and start reading, because we'll be going into that portion of the time frame. So thank you again, Stig. If you want to go ahead and share where you're going to be at next, if you plan on being on any channels between now and then or within 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe the Game of Thrones talk on Mondays with Sporking's channel. We'll see. But for now, I want to relax and read some and just not do anything.
Yeah, and that's I totally respect that. That's pretty, you gotta have time for yourself and recharge.
Yes.
Recharge. And I get that. And for me, maybe I think I'll be on Toxic Femme next Monday. And then again, coffee chat next Thursday, 9 a.m. I'm always glad to be here for you guys. Whether it's comics or not, talking George Lucas era of Star Wars, EU, what have you. Always a pleasant and always fun to chat about and nerd out about Star Wars pre-Disney. So stay tuned no matter what the topic's going to be. Coffee chat's still going to happen. So see you guys next Thursday. And let me see, Queen's Council. Tonight I have a meeting I have to attend, so I won't be able to do that. I think I have to talk to the ladies, but I will share the link for you guys to go support Queen's Council on Twitter. So thank you guys again for coming into the chat and listening and having fun with us. And thank you again, Stig, for co-hosting Coffee Chat. And you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you.
Have a good day.
Oh, Lord.